Good morning. Welcome to our community meditation. And I want to say good morning to everybody who's also joining us online today. Thank you for being with us in consciousness. My name is Clay T. White, and I am your practitioner for today. Please take a moment to silence your cell phones so that we can have an uninterrupted experience together. This meditation is a blend of spoken word and silence, accompanied by beautiful music. It will last approximately 15 minutes. So please go within. Take some deep breaths and then breathe normally. Lower your shoulders, allowing then all the joints in your body to just relax. Slip off your shoes if you like. Today, my meditation is about Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa lasts from December 26th to New Year's Day. 7 days of celebration. Each day has a core principle that celebrates family, community, culture. This year, I'm up-leveling my Kwanzaa experience by combining it with what we learn here in this community. The first day is unity. We are to strive for and maintain unity in the family, the community, the nation, and I add in the world. Here in this community, we believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe that this God is personal to all. All of us who feel that indwelling presence. Feel that presence now. The second day of Kwanzaa is self-determination. To define and name ourselves, as well as create and speak for ourselves. In Science of Mind, we have self-recognition. It is to become more aware of our divinity. The third day of Kwanzaa is collective work and responsibility. We are to build and maintain our community together, making our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and solving them together. In Science of Mind, to add to this, we transcend the invisible. We transcend the individual experiences and connect all people on a fundamental level. We are one. Cooperative economics. We build and maintain our businesses and all profit from them together. Eric Butterworth in Spiritual Economics. We learn to acquire a level of consciousness through which abundance flows through our lives naturally. It's a merging of our spiritual and our economics. Put more spiritual attention to our economic well-being. The fifth day of Kwanzaa is purpose. To make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community to restore our people to greatness. So we seek to make this a world where each of us lives the life of God, a world that works ideally for everyone. The sixth day of Kwanzaa is creativity. To do always as much as we can, in the way we can, to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we arrived. So we are surrounded by this creative mind which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it. The last day of Kwanzaa is New Year's Day, and it is faith. To believe with all our hearts in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our legacy. We also know that faith is mental assertion elevated to the place of realization. Faith allows the invisible to become visible to the mind. It makes the unseen real. That's the faith that we carry into the new year. Now, as we begin to come back into this sacred space, I believe in the protecting presence of the ever-available Spirit. With faith, I wrap myself in a mantle of divine protection, knowing that underneath are the everlasting arms. And so it is. This concludes today's meditation. Thank you for being together in spiritual practice. Our celebration service begins at 10 a.m. You have 15 minutes to stretch your legs and hug each other and prepare for another year.
time.
Spirit of God is upon
Well, good morning, CSLGLV. What a wonderful day it is this last Sunday in 2024. And what a glorious time it is to come together and do a little bit of spiritual practice in a little bit different way. I had some people come in and say, what's going on? Is there no service today? Yeah, there is. We're doing a workshop service today. So this is going to be an experiential activity for you. For those of you that are joining us online, you might want to grab a pen and a couple pieces of paper to have nearby so that you can do the experience along with us. All of the prompts are going to be on the screen for you, so you'll be able to see that, and you'll be able to follow along with us. Wow, what a great day this is. We're going to start off this morning by singing our congregational song, which is Together We Rise. Yeah. So if you'd like to stand, and the word's going to be on the screen, join us as we sing.
Together we rise as the sun lights up the sky, opening our hearts to the spirit of love inside. Together we rise, God flows through you and I. Together one in spirit, we rise, we rise. In times of struggle, we seek the Spirit of God within. Receptive to our calling, we love our neighbors and our friends. Relaxing in the knowing God's grace, it never ends. We gather as one people and with joyful hearts we sing. Together we rise as the sun lights up the sky, opening our hearts to the spirit of love inside. Together we rise, God flows through you and I. Together one in spirit, we rise, we rise. As we stay in gratitude, we let Spirit lead the way. Listening to the still small voice, it's always there to say. Trust in God with all your heart, the path ahead is clear. We unite together and there's nothing for us to fear. Together we rise as the sun lights up the sky, opening our hearts to the spirit of love inside. Together we rise, God flows through you and I. Together one in spirit, we rise, we rise. All right, good morning, everyone. Greet your neighbor if you're comfortable doing so now.
Well, with the lights on, I could see we had a lot of new people here today, so I'm so excited for that because you were here for my favorite Sunday of the entire year. This is the Sunday where I get to play. So, in case you don't know who I am, I'm Reverend Laura, and I'm the spiritual director here at Center for Spiritual Living. We are an open, loving, and inclusive community. We practice a religion called New Thought, which is based on ancient wisdom. Our founder is Ernest Holmes, and he created this philosophy back in the early 1900s, and it has been the greatest blessing in my life to learn to live this way. So I'm so excited you're here today for this wonderful experience. This is our end of the year, getting rid of everything that we don't want to take into 2025 and setting our intentions for 2025 service. On the fifth Sunday of a month, we do what we call a workshop Sunday. And so today's very experiential. You will actually have to get up and move around a little bit, do some things, participate a little bit to whatever level you are comfortable with. But I challenge you to go a little bit beyond your comfort zone because you don't change when you're in your comfort zone. You stay the same. So if you're open for a little bit of excitement coming into 2025, I encourage you to play along with me today. So you can see our room is set up a little differently. We have it set up with 4 altars around the side and an altar in the middle, and we're going to be using those altars during our experience today. You should have a clipboard that has 3 pieces of paper on it. You should have a pen, and you should have a candle. If you don't have one of those, would you raise your hand, and our ushers will come by and get you that stuff. So everybody has what they need today. Wonderful. Looks like everybody's prepared. We have fabulous ushers. I want to thank them for their service this morning, helping out to distribute all of these extra materials for us. Okay, so I call this service Reflect, Release, and Rise. We're going to look back over 2024, the things that have happened in our lives this year, and then we're going to decide which ones of those things we do not want to take with us into 2025. Does anybody have anything like that they would rather not experience again in 2025? Yeah, I thought maybe you might. And then we're going to set our intentions for rising in consciousness, rising in our lives, rising in our experiences for 2025. And so 2-part service here. So we'll be doing 2 different times where you'll have to get up and move here. All right, so thank you so much, Justin. You know, sometimes I need people to tell me what to do. I'd like to invite up Clay T. White, our practitioner of the day, for our invocation and our affirmation before we get going here. Thank you, Justin and Clay T.
So an affirmation, as you know, helps us to just affirm some good stuff in our lives. So if you turn, you can look at your screen. All of the screens have these, and we're going to read this affirmation together. So 1, 2, 3. I authentically explore, create, and nurture love-based intentions that inspire positive and power-filled choices. And that was written by one of our practitioners, Valerie Weiner. She's sitting right over there this morning.
Fill me, God, be thou my grace. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. I know God's light, it shines within me. I know God's light, it shines within me. Let's sing now. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. I know God's light, it shines within me. I know God's light, it shines within me.
An invocation sets the tone. This is to set the tone for this morning's service. Let's use it today also to set the tone for 2025. Let's enter the new year in faith, joy, and freedom. Perfect health, divine happiness surrounds me every moment. Every moment that I realize this divine presence within me. Let's awake every day to joy, surrounded by the everlasting arms. This year, let's awaken every day, surrounded, cradled in the everlasting arms. Let's live and move and have our being in the wholeness of the Almighty. Let's believe in ourselves because we are God personified. We are God personified. And so it is.
Fill me, God, be thou my grace. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. Fill me, God, be thou my grace. I know God's light, it shines within me. I know God's light, it shines within me. I know God's light, it shines within me. I know God's light.
Thank you, Justin and Clay T. That was beautiful. And thank you for the reminder. Sometimes I get a little ahead of myself, a little too excited for my own good. All right, so we're going to begin this workshop by taking a look back at 2024 and everything that happened in your world in 2024. And so I'm going to invite you to go into a little bit of a contemplation as I take you through the months of the year. We'll do them in chunks so that we can begin to think back on what it was that happened for us during our years. So I think we probably want to lower the lights a little bit, Joe, for this. They don't need to write just yet. So I just invite you to get comfortable in your seats. If it helps you to center yourself, go ahead and close your eyes. Take in a breath or two. Just recognize you're self-centered and present in your body right now. And just notice that you're supported by a chair, that your feet are on the floor, that you are grounded and secure in this moment. And so we just begin by going back to the beginning of the year, back to January, February, March of 2024. Gently recall anything that was happening in your life during those months. Maybe you were experiencing something wonderful, Or maybe you had something that was a little more challenging. Or perhaps everything just seemed to be okay. To spend a moment here in those first 3 months of the year. And now bring to mind the spring months, April, May, June. What was your life like during those months? What were the highlights? What were the challenges? How were your relationships, your health, your finances? How did life feel in the spring of 2024? Now let's move forward to the summer, July, August, September. It was a hot one here in Las Vegas. What was happening in your life during those warm summer months that we had? What kind of things were you engaged in? Where did you find joy? What brought you discomfort? And now let's move forward into the last 3 months of the year, the ones closest to us. October, November, December. Temperatures cooled, and life became busier around the holidays. How was things for you during the fall of 2024? What did you find challenging? What uplifted you? So just taking a deep breath here. I'm going to have Joe raise the lights a little bit. And we have some questions to reflect upon here, some statements. So just spend a few moments here. Anything that comes to mind, you don't have to answer all of these. You don't have to fill in all the blanks. This isn't a quiz. This is just for you. Think about what your accomplishments were in 2024. Were there any lessons that you learned? What were you grateful for? What kind of things did you find you had to let go of in 2024? And how have you grown in the past year? I'll give you about 5 minutes here to reflect on this. Write down anything that comes to you. Again, this is just for your own knowledge. Nobody else needs to see it or have anything to do with it. This is on the larger piece of paper, by the way. If you were looking for it. Big white paper, two-sided. Take one more minute and finish up here. All right, as I said, we often have things that happen that we don't really want to have happen again in our lives. And they can be little things. They don't have to be big, horrid things. They can be little things that it's like, yeah, I think I'm done with doing that. I don't really want to do that again in my life. So we're going to take a little bit of a contemplation here to review some of those things. And you have the next section on your paper is called Releasing. And so I've grouped it into setbacks, disappointments, fears, frustrations, but maybe there's something that happened that doesn't fit into one of those categories. That's okay. You can just jot it down wherever you want on your paper. And so let's just begin again, thinking back over what has happened in 2024, and what are those things that you really don't want to experience again in your life, or at least not again in the next year. So as you take a few moments and just ponder what has happened in 2024 and write down anything that feels like you would like to let that go. We'll give you about 3 minutes here to do that. Okay, here comes the fun part. You were given a very small piece of paper. It's small for a reason. What I'd like you to do is to write on this paper every single thing that you want to let go of in 2024. You can write on both sides. You can write it really tiny. Nobody ever has to read it again. You can even misspell it and scribble something down knowing what that means. Whatever you want. Fill this paper completely with all of those things that you do not want to bring into 2025. So take your time and do that for a few moments here. When you feel complete, fold your paper up, not real tight, but 2 or 3 times fold it. I'm folding mine like this. And bring it up here and put it in the bowl. There's a piece of mesh there. If you just put it on top of the mesh, that would be perfect. Whenever you're ready, come on up and put your you got to let that go. One that's trying to get away here. I don't want that. That's it. Oh, there's another one. There's something very powerful about writing down the things that we want to release and then physically getting up and doing that. But this next part is even more powerful. We're going to send these things back into the nothingness from which they came. So let's take a moment and pray over this, and then we will. Those of you that might be behind me, you want to see this. So if you want to stand and move, that's great. But you want to see this. So if you see the bowl from where I'm standing, then please make yourself available for that. All right, let's just take a moment and turn within to that place in consciousness, that place that fills us with that divine grace that is overflowing, that is living its life through us right here and right now, that one creative love intelligence that has brought each one of us into existence, that is the isness and the allness and the fullness of all life, that one all-pervading love intelligence, that one I call God. And knowing that there is only this one, I know that I am one with it. That the power and the presence of the divine resides right at the heart of my being. And because I know this is true for me, I know this is true for everyone. That we are all, each, a perfect and unique emanation of that one. And so I know right now that everything that has been written down on this paper and everything that has been left unsaid is already released in the mind of the one. And this is simply just an act of completion to allow it to disintegrate, moving back into the nothingness, back to where it has no power, where it has no effect upon us. And how good it is to know this, how good it is to see it, how good it is to feel what is happening right now. I just give great thanks for this. And I release this word into the law, to that creative mind that knows no limits. I let it go, and I let it be. And together we say, so it is.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Oh, beautiful. Doesn't that feel good? Let that stuff go. We don't need to take it with us into our new year, into our new experience. We can let it go and know that it is gone. We don't have to pick it up again. We don't have to take it back with us. We can just let it be, knowing that it is completely gone. Spirit's got a handle on it, and that is all there is to it. So the next part of our workshop is about setting our intentions for 2025. Now, an intention is it's a little bit different than what a lot of people do. Most people set a New Year's resolution. How many of you have seen a New Year's resolution all the way through to its completion? Yeah, yay, all right. You know, there's been a couple that I've been able to move through in my life, but for the most part, it's sometimes 3 days, sometimes 10 days. I might get to 3 weeks with one of them, but I don't often do that. What I like about intentions versus resolutions is an intention is working in consciousness. It's working through us all the time, and we don't really have to put a lot of attention on intentions. We just have to kind of keep them in the back of our mind, letting them work as they are want to work. Now, it's interesting to watch what happens with intentions. Sometimes they show up in ways that we didn't plan for. But when we look at that, it's like, oh yeah, that's what I asked for. So it's always good to be clear about what you want. What's that story about the person that wanted unconditional love and their dog had puppies? You can always be a little more clear about what it is we're wanting to bring into our experience. And so setting our intentions is a powerful way to do that. And so I'm going to take you through a little guided questions here. I've got some questions. This is on the back side of your paper now. I'm calling this rising because we are rising up in consciousness in 2025. We are rising up in our lives and moving forward. So we are going to go through these questions, and as anything occurs to you, write it down. Even if it is something that doesn't respond to one of those questions, go ahead and put it down on your paper. I try to make up questions that I think are going to be appropriate for these kind of things, but there are different situations in our lives that that would actually be something that would be more appropriate for you for this. So think about, what are those things in your life that you are passionate about right now? Think about that. What sparks you? What makes you want to get up in the morning and go do things? What is it you're passionate about? What is it in your life that you would like to have more of? Those things that are working really well that you'd like to cultivate and watch them grow in your life. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a new job, maybe it's a new hobby, a new way of being healthy. What is it you're wanting to cultivate and bring more of into your life in 2025? And the next two questions kind of go together. What's going on in my life right now? What's going right in my life right now? And what seems to be working well? What are those things that are really good for you right now? And now think about those things that may be a little more challenging for you right now, that you might like to make a shift. Without going into those things that you release, but what might be a little bit of a challenge for you right now, that you might like to have a different outcome? And where is an area where you might make some positive changes in your life right now? So looking over all of those things that you've just written, reflecting on what is happening in your life currently, let's begin to make an intention statement. Now, an intention statement is very much like an affirmation. They are most powerful when you use words that have some impact on you. So, for instance, if I use an I statement, then I'm claiming it for myself and it makes it feel more real inside of me. If I say something like, I am experiencing more joy in my life, versus if I said something like, I want more joy in my life, which one feels more powerful to you? I am experiencing more joy in my life, or I want more joy in my life? Experiencing, there's an action there. There's a power there. So if we use words that are action words, that helps us bring some movement into the intention statement. If we use words that are juicy words, words that mean something to me, like if I use the word good versus the word fabulous. Fabulous is a much more juicy word than good is. So think of words like that. Words like, I am passionate, or I am experiencing ultimate joy in my life, or I am bringing in abundance in every avenue of my experience. Think about words that are juicy and mean something to you, that give you some fire behind them. So think about that as you're writing your intention statement. It needs to be present tense. Don't say I will. I am right now. Will doesn't have any power to it. Make it personal. Use I statements. My life. I. Me. Don't put even we in there. That takes away some of your power when you attach it to someone else. This is all about what's happening for you. Now you could say, I am experiencing wondrous joy in all of my relationships, which kind of encompasses somebody else, but it's not about them, it's about you experiencing the joy. So present tense, powerful, passionate, personal. There we go. So take a few moments and see if you can come up with a statement that kind of covers what you were talking about in your rising section. Okay, we have one more thing to do here with this. I started doing this process this will be my 4th year of it. So 3 years ago, I've completed this process. And I call this my word of power. So I take my intention statement and I synthesize it down to one word. And I let that one word be my guiding force throughout my life that year. So for instance, in 2022, my word of power was authentic. And so I found lots of ways where I could show up as my true self and speak my truth to anyone that needed to have it spoken to them. It was interesting to watch how it showed up in my life, this word authentic. In 2023, my word was courage. And I moved through some of the most difficult situations a person has to go through, the death of a parent. I bought a new home. I adopted some babies, fur babies, by the way, not the other kind. Not that there's anything wrong with those, but I like the fur ones too. So my life had some big changes in it, and I moved through it with courage and grace and ease as I went through each one of those transitions. Last year, my word of power was balance. And wouldn't you know it, I found lots of ways that I could practice balance, especially with a knee that went out and all of the things that challenges around that. But it gave me ways to look at my life and bring more balance into it. So I did this process over the weekend so that I would be ready for today. And so my intention statement was, I find ways to allow creativity to explode in my life. That's my intention statement. And so my word of power out of that is create. So my word of power for 2025 will be the word create. And so take a look at your intention and see if you can synthesize that down into one word. One word is most powerful. If you have to have two, put 2 in there, but 1 word is the most powerful way to do it. And then you let that word guide everything through your decision making in 2025. So take a moment and see if you can come up with that 1 word, your word of power. Okay, you were given a candle when you came in, and the candle has 2 blanks. It has a blank at the top and then 1 at the bottom. On the blank at the top, would you put your name? You can just put your first name. You don't have to have the whole name on there. And on the blank of the bottom, put your word of power. So I've asked 4 of our practitioners to come to the altars and assist us with this part. So when you are ready, I'm going to ask you to come up to the altar. You choose whichever one you want to. When you walk up to the practitioner, they're going to light your candle. And what I want you to do is say, my name is Laura, and my word of power is create. Except you use your name and your word of power instead of that. Come up to the practitioner and actually claim it for yourself. There's something very powerful about making a statement and claiming that as your experience. Now, there are mirror tiles on the table. I would like you to put your candle on the mirror tile because your candle flame will reflect with everyone else's candle flame. It enhances the power of each one of them, and it shines that light as a community. So make sure you put your candle on one of the mirror tiles there so your light can be reflected for everyone. And so, Joe, we're just going to need some music for this part, and probably leave the lights where they're at because of the people moving around. All right. You may go to whichever practitioner you prefer to go to and have your candle lit. Okay. It is. And so we'll just take a moment here and bless each one of these intentions with a spiritual mind treatment. And so right here and right now, I know that that one power and that one presence is active in each one of us. It has brought us to this moment and given us this work to do today. So I know that these intentions that have been set forth are already complete in the mind of the one and ready and willing for us to experience them in our lives more and more throughout 2025. I know that these words of power that have been spoken, have been claimed, have been set in motion right here and right now, are already active and manifesting themselves in most amazing ways possible in each and every one of our experience. I know that the goodness and the grace of God is absolutely present here, moving through each one of us and showing up as us in all of its perfection and all of its glory. I give great thanks for this, and I let it be, and so it is. Thank you. All right, so that's the end of our workshop. You are welcome to blow your candles out after we're done here in a few moments and take them home with you. And I invite you to put them in a place of significance for you to remind you of that word of power throughout the year. And if something happens and you really want to change it, sit with it for a little bit, make sure that that's really what you need to do, because sometimes what you need to do isn't really what you want to do. But you just got to look at it that way also. But, this is yours for you to use and use this spiritual practice. If you want to take that worksheet home with you and contemplate it some more, that's a great experience to do too. We had just a brief hour here to do this in, but some of this stuff takes a little bit more time and a little bit more thinking to actually clear it away. If you would like to do something like the release again, you can take any kind of piece of paper and burn it. You're going to have a little ash left over. The paper that we use today, in case you weren't aware, is called flash paper, and it's what magicians use in their tricks. So it makes no residue whatsoever. It leaves nothing left behind, which is why I really love it. It's so symbolic of that. So I just have a few announcements before we finish up for the day. If you like that idea of the word of power, well, we have an opportunity for you to experience in that. I keep telling you all I'm a crafty little devil, so we have what we call word of power bracelets. So these are, I went too far. What happened? Boy, I went the wrong way. Sorry about that. There we go. Word of power bracelets. They're available here. All of the proceeds go to the center here. They're available in blue, black, red, beige, or purple. And I will stamp your word of power on there for you, and you can pick them up next week. And you will have that as a permanent reminder throughout the year. I've done this in one of the soul crafters that I do, and I still see people wearing their bracelets around the center here. So if you're interested in that, they're only $10 a piece. You can sign up at the back table over there. Kelly and Kaylee will take care of that for you. Next Saturday, I am doing my Zentangle workshop here, 10 o'clock in the morning. Cost is $10, covers our cost of materials and using the space and so forth. Zentangle is a practice that I began. It's a meditative drawing. So it's a meditative drawing practice that I began in 2016 that literally changed everything about my life. Burst forth the creativity in me, has sent me on a way. I've actually got 4 books published now because of it. I've done workshops all over the country because of it. I've presented at international conferences and all kinds of things because of Zentangle. So if you're interested in that, 2-hour workshop, I'm going to teach you the basics of Zentangle. If you can write your name, you can draw Zentangle. You don't have to have any creative abilities whatsoever. You don't have to draw. Trust me, that was one of my hindrances, was I didn't think I could draw. So anyway, coming on Saturday, January 4th, at July 4th. It has to go together. January 4th at 10 a.m. Anyway. I have a new class that's starting in January also, January 8th. I'm offering this at 2 times on a Wednesdays, from 1 to 3:30 for those of you that don't like to drive in the night, and from 6 to 8:30 for those of you that don't care about driving at night, either way. It is in person here in the sanctuary. I have been working with mindfulness meditation for several years right now, and I've developed a series of meditative workshops that I've done, I think 3 times now. I just finished a series of it with the Interfaith Council, and I see some of my people here from the classes that I taught there. So I expanded this out into a full class, and so it's a wonderful way of learning mindfulness as a meditation to help you move through physical, mental challenges in your life in a more mindful way. Great class. So if you sign up for it, you get the book free. The book is John Kabat-Zinn, who is the founder of Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction. And you'll get the book free with the cost of your tuition for that. Next Sunday, 2 Sundays from now, on January 12th, we're having our new member orientation. Anybody that's been interested in becoming a member of our center, it's necessary for you to attend this orientation so that you find out what it is to be a member, what that entails, and a little bit about the structure, the leadership structure of Center for Spiritual Living. So if you're interested in that, there's a form on our website. We'd like you to complete that, or see Kaylee or Kelly in the back, and they'll help you with that. On January 18th, a Saturday, we're going to have a vision board workshop called Now in Zen, because I'm going to incorporate some of the Zen stuff that we do in this. Kelly Marshall and I are going to be facilitating this workshop. It's $47 for one person, $77 for two people. That includes all your supplies and materials plus lunch. So it's on a Saturday from 11:30 to 3:30 here in the sanctuary. And then some of our sacred circles are meeting. In the month of January, we have Walking the Path, which meets every Tuesday at 10 a.m. here in the sanctuary. This is a group that comes together to discuss ideas around science of mind. That's our philosophy, based on the writings that are in the Science of Mind magazine. January 10th, we have our Fun and Games group that meets on a Friday night, get together and play all kinds of fun games. January 19th, our Women's Circle meets at 2:30. And then on January 19th also, our Rhythm, Sound, and Soul group, which is a drumming, dancing, chanting group, meets at 5 o'clock here in the sanctuary. And our final announcement here, we are in need of volunteers to help with our hospitality. Today I made the coffee and set out the cookies, so we need some folks to help us with that. We only have 2 people that do it regularly, and one of them is out of town and the other one has the flu. And so we would love to have some wonderful volunteers. If having hospitality here is important to you, consider signing up for one of the weeks. Also, if you'd like to bring any treats to share with anyone here during their hospitality days, there is a sign-up sheet in the lobby right on the blue table. It's right outside of the doors here. And if you go ahead and sign up and put your contact information on that, our coordinators will get back to you about volunteering for hospitality. That basically means you come in a little bit early, you make the coffee, you stay a little late, clean up the coffee. That's pretty much it. Set out the food and things like that for it. So we do have cookies and coffee here today, and I think I got some nuts and candy back there too. So anyway, if you're interested in doing that, please consider volunteering to help our hospitality group here. All right, we are going to close it out with Use Me. So if you, gosh, you know, we are a nonprofit 501c3, and we accept charitable contributions to fund our center. And so we're going to pass a basket right now. We also have several ways. Joe, do you have a slide on that? Several ways that you can give electronically if you'd like to do that. You know, I have an order of service here. I just am not looking at it. So, thank you. Just take a moment and do that. Thank you, Joe.
Circulation, circulation, like the water raining down to grow the flowers up through the ground. Circulation, circulation, the universe you give into will multiply it and send it back to you. Circulation, circulation, like the water raining down to grow the flowers up through the ground. Circulation, circulation, the universe you give into will multiply it and send it back to you. Circulation, circulation, like the water's raining down to grow the flowers up through the ground. Circulation, circulation, the universe you give into will multiply it and send it back to you. Circulation, circulation, like the water raining down to grow the flowers up through the ground. Circulation, circulation, the universe you give into will multiply it and send it back to you. Circulation.
And we just give great thanks for everything that has been given to us today, and we are just so blessed with your consciousness, the people that have shown up here. I'm so thrilled to see new faces. I hope you found something here wonderful that would bring you back. Normally, we don't have this kind of a service, but we like to do this periodically and really have a lot of fun with it. Spirituality doesn't have to be serious all the time. Sometimes we can actually explore and have fun. So when you get up, make sure that you blow out your candle. Let it solidify before you move it around too much so we don't get wax on the labyrinth floor. We would appreciate that. And have a beautiful and blessed day. We're going to sing Use Me.
Yep. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
I forgot to announce we have 4 beautiful poinsettias that are alive and will not be that way next week. So if you would like to take one home with you, please grab one off the altar and take it with you.